Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Helm weekly developer meeting. Thank you for joining us. I put the notes doc into the chat. Please drop your agenda items there. And we start first with announcements and then discussion topics. Any shout outs? And then also social media. I need to put one in there too, because a blog just went out. So we follow the CNCF guidelines for code of conduct, and welcome. Let's start with some announcements. Does anybody have an announcement? I could announce Andy's blog that went out, but I have to go grab the link. So let's move to the discussion topics while I go grab that link. Christina, yours is first. Would you like to talk about your pull request? Let me grab it.
Yeah, it is actually not my pull request. It is a feature request that I just wanted to follow up on it. And I actually see Matt commented on it and 3 weeks ago, and it hasn't moved along. So I just wanted to kind of find the status on it.
So I can give you the status of this one. I had it open in front of me. It's one of the too many tabs that I have open. It has one approval from a maintainer now in Joe, and I have it open to review. I actually want to put this through some of its paces. I think it's probably ready to go. It would come out in 3.13. The next feature release is when it'll come out. I expect it to be in there, but between some other things that have come up in my day job and then this issue with 3.12, which just went out, this is kind of step to the side. The next step is really, things look like they're in place, but for something like this, I pull it down and I test it in the real world and I make sure everything works as well. And I haven't had the chance to do that. So I have it open, I have everything ready to go. I just have not had the time to do that. And since we've got some other things in priority, that's why it's fallen where it is. I'm hopeful that I can get to it next week sometime, but that's kind of where it stands. I'll be shocked if it doesn't go into 3.13, just because it already has one approval and it's on deck for me to look at.
So this sounds like from our discussion last week, it might, or maybe the week before, who knows, it all runs together. Michael, you were asking about maybe some things that, you or your team could help test, or, kind of items that you could help with. What do you think about looking at this one?
Yeah, sure. We already have. This is the one that I've brought up in a couple of meetings as well previously. So yeah, we already have tested this one.
Yeah. I or another second maintainer is the bottleneck right now in reviewing it. And if another maintainer comes along and reviews it, great. But on my plate, I just need to run it through the paces.
So circling back on so in the future, if you needed something looked at and tested, you could just drop it into the Slack and the Helm Dev channel and the Kate Slack and say, hey, does anybody want to look at this? Is that a good process? Or I don't want to define a process, but is that how people can also help?
Yeah, and at this point, it's finding a maintainer to review it and get that second approval. So it's not just anybody. It needs to be one of the maintainers.
Okay.
Okay.
But it helps for other people to also test it.
Yeah. If other people test it and they can give their feedback, that's good too.
Okay. Thank you.
And my apologies, when is 113 planned to land?
Sorry, 313 at 24th the date. We know the date because it is the second Wednesday of a month. We just have to go pull up the month. All of our releases are on the second Wednesday of a month. There should be one every month except January, where it falls on the third Wednesday because nobody's around during the December holidays to get things in order beforehand. And we need that first week of January to do it.
Okay, I'll do the calculation. Second Wednesday, June.
All right. It's not June because it's September. So we have 3 feature releases every year. They come out a month after the Kubernetes feature release. So that way we've got enough time to upgrade to the new version of Kubernetes. And then that's when our feature releases come out. The months in between there, we do a patch release, which is for bug fixes, security, things like that.
Thank you.
So the schedule is for September 13th, the Wednesday in September. Okay.
All right. So the next discussion topic is yours, Matt.
Yeah, and I'll update everyone on it. So the issue is in the, if Joe, I think he's not here, he could probably speak more to this, but he triaged it and found that the issue is in Kubernetes packages, right? So when we connect with the cluster and we do all this work, we import Kubernetes packages to do that. And there was a bug in the Kubernetes packages that was causing this. And at least Joe says it's been fixed. It's been cherry picked into the release branch. And so the next time Kubernetes tags a patch release, the fix should be in there, and then we just need to upgrade, and then that should fix it. So we'll have to keep an eye out for that and try to get the patch release in as soon as it's out. So when we do our next patch release, it has that fix in it.
Did you all decide if a communication needed to go out, either a blog or some sort of posting about
normally with these things, we don't necessarily do that. They do come up from time to time. And you find issues like this in Kubernetes.0 releases, right? New minor releases that don't have any patches left. You usually find some issues in there. They quite often don't impact Helm itself. This is just one of those times where it does. But normally we don't put anything special out there to let people know about the issue. Maybe we should. If somebody has an idea on it, I'm open to hearing it, but normally we don't. We'll just track the issue and fix it as it comes in because it's in an upstream dependency.
Okay, as long as it's not a blocker for anybody using.
People can downgrade to Helm 3.11 and they'll be able to function. And the issue doesn't show up for everybody. So it only shows up sometimes. For example, Joe has been unable to replicate it.
Well, that makes it difficult to.
It does, but he did a great job triaging it and finding the Kubernetes problem.
That's awesome. Kudos to Joe. Next time he's here.
All right.
I guess the only other thing really is the blog that went out that I haven't found yet. Did you read it, Matt? I will go grab it. All right, I found it. I will put it in the document. It is the OCI media types.
Yeah. And if you're going to build something around our media types, for example, some of the OCI registries will say, oh, it's Helm. We're going to detect that and give you the Helm command. For that kind of thing, it's nice to know these details. I know they've done a lot of work to detail the media types and even get them to be specs where people track media types.
Okay. So if anybody wants to amplify that on social media too, I assume, I haven't checked Twitter to see if Karen already sent it out, but I'll put it in the other chat. Well, that's all our topics today. Does anybody else have something? It's a busy time of year, right before summer vacation.
Vacations, some conferences going on, all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, it's the mad dash right after KubeCon.
All right.
Okay.
Do we need moderator notes and that stuff for next week?
Yeah,
I can do moderator. I'll take that on.
Okay, I don't know if I will be here, so I don't think I can sign up for anything yet.
Okay.
Would anybody, Michael, do you want to sign up for notes?
Okay, yeah.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
All right.
Michael, can you put your email address in the chat really fast to make sure that you have it? And then issue triage and PR review. I don't know, Matt, if you even want to sign up for one of those.
I can try to be in there, but don't sign me up. We'll see. This last few weeks and this next week, I know we're going to be busy.
Okay. Perfect. All right. Thank you, everybody. Maybe see you next week.
Yeah. See you all.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.